What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are here with the final series of the Tony G Christmas Tournament. It has been a successful tournament, and we finally have these two players ready to battle it off. I cannot think of two better finalists to have here. We have Kokanee AV as Protoss, his favorite race in the bottom middle position, versus JH, who will be starting off as the Zerg in the top left position. So this is percentage-wise a favorable beginning here for Kokanee getting that Protoss, and he will be up against, that's Zerg from JH. We're seeing that, of course, the hatchery first here from JH. JH will be playing relatively safe, I imagine. They are discussing the TR rate as of right now. They are Canada versus Korea, so there may be a little bit of latency. He is setting his first Overlord out here on the middle in a little bit of a weird trajectory, but nonetheless will be scouting out that middle of the map here. And we're seeing the Nexus first here from Mr. Kokanee, going to go into a 2-gate after that. Going to be looking to put on maybe some aggression, maybe not going to tech right away, but with that frontal pylon, perhaps he will also be teching just off of that 2-gate. We have seen JH do that a lot with his Protoss. We'll see if that is what Kokanee is going to do. Imagine we're going to see a Forge, and there we do see that Forge go down. I wonder if he is going to get that triple Nexus or not. JH still unaware that he is up against that Protoss. This Overlord going to safely go over here on the space, make sure he doesn't get picked off by any scouting Marines, and we are seeing that gas being started now. So perhaps just going to be that 2 Gateway Zealot non-stop production while he does tech into some kind of drop. Maybe just get enough gas so he can build his Robo right outside of the choke of this Zerg player. 2 Sunkens are being built right now, and a couple of Zerglings are out. Going to see that he is up against the Protoss. That probe is going to die. Just going to find where he is, but not going to survive to get any scouting information off. These Zerglings are out on the map. Perhaps going to find Kokanee before these cannons are complete and get a full scout off. It looks like he is. If he is able to dodge these Zealots are reacting nicely. Going to stop the... No, it looks like a couple of Zerglings are going to get in here. One Zergling dying, and the other taking a couple of shots, but 3 Zerglings are going to be in here, and that is going to be a little annoying for Mr. Kokanee. Going to lose no probe so far, so good micro here by Mr. Kokanee, keeping everything alive. Does have that core finishing now. Building his second gas, and forced to build a cannon here, knowing that JH can keep these Zerglings alive forever. Is going to see that robotics timing from Mr. Kokanee. So JH is going to know exactly what's going on while continuing to harass these probes. Very nicely done by Kokanee, keeping all of them alive. Keeping all of his probes alive. Still hasn't lost a single probe, though. Maybe he has lost a single probe, since it certainly does have 1 kill. Maybe that was the initial probe coming in for the scout, because I don't think he's gotten any here as we've been watching. Finally, that cannon gets up, and that final Zealot does die here. So the Robo is completing. Do have that gas started here for JH. JH probably just going to get a couple of Hydralisks out to defend versus this drop while he makes his tech choice. Doing see that very early Citadel of Adun as well, so it's going to be going into those storm drops. I would imagine could also be going for the Reaver Zealot legs, but off a single Robo, probably not going to be the case. First Zealots are coming across the map now. There is 5 well-placed sunken colonies there, though. This is such a good wall that the drone cannot even get in here, and yeah, that's just going to be a solid wall. Not going to be able to break through that anytime soon. Just opting to build a sunken here, getting that Hydralisk den and that second geyser here for Mr. JH. So JH getting himself in a good position after that scout. See that shuttle speed and the Templar of Archives going down. And now this shuttle is going to go out on the map and transport these 4 Zealots into the base of JH. JH does have a creep colony at home. So he will have at least some defense if these Hydras aren't out in time, but I feel like they will be. There's Dragoon also going to be here picking off Overlords. Accidentally brings his shuttle out there, so the shuttle is going to be exposed here. But no Hydras still being produced quite yet from Mr. JH, so perhaps this drop can get some damage done. Is only shuttling a single Zealot? This is actually maybe a little bit of a mistake here. He could have brought in all 4 of his Zealots. Not sure what the thinking behind that is. Maybe just wanting to get a scout off. Good to see that there is a lair, Evil Chamber, and the Hydras are out now. So the drop's probably not going to do too much damage until he gets some additional dropships out here. Still only on a single robotics, and just going to start massing up gateways here. Really going to depend on hitting his storm drops. Kokanee Protoss is very dependent on these storm drops, very usually, just like most Protosses actually, so I don't know why I'm saying specifically Kokanees. But yeah, gonna go right into those storm drops, and these storm drops are going to be hitting these Overlords, getting pushed back as far as they possibly can go by that Dragoon. And yeah, they're going to have that first upgrade started. Zealot's legs also being completed. And this first drop is going to be hitting fairly soon. Kokanee adding a lot of gateways now. JH though just kind of been able to chill though for the most part. Nothing really happening, just having a couple of Hydras out here. And JH is growing quickly. Adding additional hatcheries, evil chambers for his upgrades, getting into a very good position. 2 more geysers as well, extractors as they are called for the Zerg race. And this first drop is going to have to get some work done. We do see 1 shuttle up here and a distraction shuttle down here, so Kokanee going to actually bring the distraction shuttle. Actually, it does pull the Hydras away, so very nicely done by Kokanee, pulling all of those Hydras away with that distraction, and gets only a single drone though, and that second one gets, where's that second Hydralisk? Getting a couple of kills there. Unfortunately did not look at that worker count, but he does get a couple of kills, which he does need to get. Gets JH down to 38 drones. Going to force him to do a full round of drone production. Very nicely done there by Kokanee, using his decoy dropship to pull all of the attention away from JH to sneak that good one in from the top. Very well played by Mr. Kokanee there. Going to get a couple of drone kills for his efforts. The Corsair production is starting to build up. Did add a second robotics facility. Would not mind seeing a third one, but he actually is starting to choke up the Zerg here at the front. Going to start putting cannons here, making sure he isn't going to die to any Hydralisk counterattack. There is a lot of Hydras on the floor, and he does not want to get overthrown. Just easier to hold this choke than this choke for the most part. You can add those robos as well to bring in those reinforcements ASAP. Does have another round of drops coming in here, and but there's a lot of Hydras defending. That hive is nearly done. Going to be finished nicely with that spire for those Guardians. That will be the next step. Going to go into those Guardian Hydralisk build, which can be deadly. The drop coming in here, but does get picked off before anything can be dropped. Just a lot of Hydras here for JH. JH just has to defend versus those drops, and he should be getting himself in a pretty good position. Do see those robos starting to be built. Now Kokanee is max, so perhaps going to start attacking Mr. JH, who he is double the supply. And yeah, it's going to just continue to drop, getting all of those upgrades going. Lots of High Templars here on the floor, and we do see that first round of attacking units. Going to even start mastering some gateways here out on the middle of the map. Drop going to come in here at the front with all of those units. Some Hydras here are picking off some of the dropships, and the money dropship does die. The decoy dropship is going to make it in there, but not going to be enough, and Kokanee has to be a little bit careful here. There is a lot of Hydralisks here. All of them have left their drop defending position to help defend this. A very nice storm going to go down there, going to kill 3 Hydras here, and a bunch of lurkers are being made now. Not a ton of sunken colonies here for JH, so JH, like typical Korean fashion, very confident in his ability to just pick off drops with units and then have enough units to defend any frontal attacks. Something that a lot of non-Koreans are not confident enough to do, as you'll typically see a lot more sunken colonies built here. With these addition of these lurkers, there is an observer here, so these lurkers aren't going to do devastating work, but still lurkers in a choke are pretty good, unless of course they get double stormed and 5 of them get instantly taken down here. We do see a couple of drones being built here to reinforce this choke here. Does not want to get too out of position in case these drops do start coming in. Did I miss a drop through all of that? His workers look like they were moved, so perhaps I lazily missed a drop attempt there. It did look like he pulled back some of his Hydralisks here. Yeah, I might have missed that, even though I've been paying attention to that minimap and I didn't see anything, but perhaps it is completely possible. So yeah, JH reinforcing this choke here with a bunch of sunken colonies. Does have his guardians started now. And yeah, he's just getting himself in a very good position. Still only on 5 gas though, which is, I guess, all you need at this point in the game. Another huge attack though coming in here, and this will be accompanied by a drop here at the top from Kokanee. Going to be pushing in here, even pulling off some of these probes to start picking off some lurkers. You don't see that very often, probe versus lurkers, but lurker is going to burrow and take out all of that in a nice swift swoop. This drop coming in here, but there is Hydras in position and they are being clicked on the dropships. 1 High Templar does fall. Gonna try to storm the Hydras. Only 2 Hydras do fall. Very nice micro from JH, being very aware of all of these attacks. As Corsair getting a couple shots off on those Guardians, and Scourge now picking off observers. You can't kill lurkers without observers, so that is a very nice move here. Now, lots of storms being thrown down here from Mr. Kokanee, and Kokanee is slowly losing ground here. I think he is able to apply a lot of pressure, but JH is getting into that scary mass position here. But you're always 1 drop away from kind of getting super reset, slowed down. We do now see a bunch of Sunkens being built here, knowing that this mass Protoss army is just going to be hitting time and time again. The Reavers are going to be added on here. Reaver, Dragoon, High Templar, pretty good combination. But you can still see hardly any defense around the main, so JH just super confident in his ability to pick off these drops as they come. A drop coming in here right through the middle. He is at 85 workers. Is this one going to land? Once again, is unable to land. And every time he misses a drop, JH just gets that much stronger. These Storms and Reavers doing work here at the front. But they are all going to get picked off. And that High Templar count getting reset is a big deal. They are going to go a little too far and get picked off by those Reavers, but yeah, JH now adding on that mass defense here while he's getting ready to eventually leave his base here. Does have a good Guardian count, has an excellent drone count, pretty good hatchery count. Everything is looking very nice here for JH, and JH is looking to steal this game #1. Not going to be any easy feat though. Kokanee is you don't see Kokanee's Protoss lose very often. He has a very Gosu Protoss. Starting to add on Arbiters here as well, so maybe perhaps looking to recall. An Arbiter at the front though also isn't too bad with your army without these spores there. can be annoying to get those overlords to close or out of position. Overlords, another drop going to be coming in here. No Corsair accompanying it, so don't know how far that is going to get. These Reavers, Dragoons, trying to bash their way through. The drop coming in here at the top, and once again there's always some JH Hydralids here ready to pick them off, and once again is going to pick off the proper dropship. I don't know how they're always able to do that. I always seem to pick off the 4 dropships that don't have anything in them and then let the money one destroy me. So very well done by JH. Just those things that you just don't quite appreciate how good you have to be. Or I guess I don't even know if it's good or if you're lucky just to continually pick off the proper dropship. These Reavers are doing some work but getting picked off by these Guardians. Do see that Arbiter out, another dropship loading out. I would not mind seeing a couple more robotics facilities down there just to make that dropship count that much higher, that much harder to pick off the proper one. But yeah, we're seeing JH slowly growing. This is the finals though, so he does not want to make any mistakes. Not going to move out before he is fully confident. He is maxed out though now. So we'll see exactly what his plan is when he's going to decide to attack. Is going to pick off this probe here, which was looking to maybe start making some cannons. Or these pylons are also there just to make sure that no Muta run-bys or Overlord drops can get through without him noticing. Another drop coming in here at 89 workers. Going to drop his High Templar. It actually does get a big time drop there, so that actually might have saved Kokonie's life a little bit there. Going to reset that worker count, getting over 60 workers there. Very nicely done, finally landing that drop. Going to force JH to remake a bunch of drones. Over 60 drones he's going to have to remake, so that is going to buy Kokonie some time here to get some work done. He does want to apply some pressure here. While that is happening, he is getting a lot of Arbiters out. We'll see if he's going to go for some recalls or if he is just doing that to help with the frontal push here. 2 empty dropships going in there, going to get picked off with ease. Not sure if that was on purpose or what. JH rebuilding all of his sunken colonies. And yeah, really looking to turtle down here for the most part. Not going to look out to move out by the looks of it anytime soon. Maybe before he gets adequate defense up here. He is completely halted gas production here as well. Or gas collection, I should say. And yeah, we're kind of just at that little bit of a stalemate. Neither player giving some room. And he is going to go for a recall, a mass hallucination recall coming in here. Perhaps going to recall some Reavers into the bases. Actually could do quite a bit of work too. That lead Arbiter though is at the front, in front of all the hallucinations. Not what you typically want. And that is a little bit of a mistake here. You usually want that bunched in the front. You don't want that taking the brunt of the damage. So a little bit of a mistake there by Mr. Kokonie. Was going to recall, I think, these Dragoons and High Templars in there. And that could have done work, as JH is fairly low in minerals after that first drop, losing over 60 workers. So that really is a missed opportunity for Kokonie. Kokonie could have got some work done there. But gonna make that just one of those minor mistakes, rushing that recall maybe just a little bit, and putting that that frontal recall, the frontal Arbiter, the real Arbiter, at the front instead of in the mix with all of the hallucinations. Now we do see an Overlord. Where is that Overlord at that I just highlighted? No, I think that's just a mistake. Just kind of recollecting his drones there. Accidentally put the drop. But that does mean JH does have the Overlord dropping capabilities. Some Muta's going to come in here and pick off these stray High Templars and Reavers, or at least going to try to. A bunch of Storms are going to push that back until these Dragoons arrive. And yeah, we got ourselves a tight race here. Going to remake some more Guardians. He is back up to that high drone count, up to 76 drones. Kokonie confident with his 57 probes. He did kill off a bunch earlier. And just continuing to poke away at this choke. But JH now really adding a lot of defense here. A lot of these creep colonies, sunken colonies. Another recall coming in here. This time that that real arbiter is a little bit more hidden. Is going to get a recall, but a very tiny, not a mass recall there. Gonna get quite a few workers there. 20 or so workers. And the Arbiter does stay alive here as well. So recalls could be a good little idea here. I would have liked to see a little bit maybe more there. He could have possibly got a main if he recalled a little bit more units there, but still just going to be picking away at that worker count is still going to be good. As you can see, JH is really poor. Does have a decent drone count, but if this pressure continues, it is going to be a little bit difficult for him to remake here. JH using these mutas like a Gosu, trying to pick off these units, but Kokani keeping them alive and continuing to apply that pressure. More recalls coming in here, just non-stop Arbiter production here for him. And yeah, I don't know where his army that he wants to recall is, though. Maybe just right here, once again, going to recall that. Does want to make sure that this Arbiter is a little bit near the front once again. There we go. He does fix his mistake and is going to put that a little bit farther behind, making sure that it does have some buffering hallucination. Is going to get in here and recall once again. Very quick instant storm's going to go down there. Keep storming this one side, though, where I think most of the workers are on this side. But once again is going to hurt that drone count from Mr. JH, who is very, very poor here. A lot of High Templars underneath the cloak of this Arbiter, making sure that these Guardians don't do too much damage while continuing to mass forward is Kokani, giving it his all here. Looking to get another championship under his belt, another tournament win. Kokani always a contender for every tournament that he participates in. To win it. And yeah, he has defeated JH before in a finals, so he is confident that he can defeat the likes of JH, who was looking pretty scary throughout this tournament. Defeating Gold SCV, who a lot of people thought was going to win. And yeah, you can see this very nice Guardian spread here. The purpose of this is so it takes like every storm is doubled now. Instead of having these all bunched up, 2 storms can take out like 1 million Guardians. But if the Guardians are all spread out, it's going to be 2, 4, 6 storms just to pick off these 3. You can see it took 4 storms to pick off the 2 down here. So the spreading of the Guardians is just to not die to the mass storms, which you can obviously see by the amount of High Templars are here, is a great possibility. We do see that first freeze go down there, and we are seeing some Hydras now pushing forward here. But there you go, you see that these Hydras didn't have complete vision over all of these cloaked units. But these Scourges are going to look to pick off this Arbiter. Kokani trying to run it back, but not a lot of anti-air here for Mr. Kokani, really just relying on these High Templars as all of his anti-air. Nice storm going to go down there. But this very nice spread is going to cause a lot of storms to have to go down. These Hydras are moving forward, going to pick off the Reaver, and that Reaver is the last thing that can shoot. But the storm does go down and picks it off. But this next round of Hydras, all of these High Templars are at risk right now. Going to try to throw down as many storms as he can, but they are getting picked off. He needs to reinforce these or run these High Templars away. He is running them away now, but losing all of these precious High Templars is not what you want in this situation. More Arbiters coming up here from the bottom. And once again, JH now has totally rebuilt his drone count, still not collecting maximum gas right here. We can see a lot of empty extractors here not being fully utilized. And we are going to start seeing some ensnares going down with these queens, which can help a lot on the hallucinations. Also going to make it difficult for them to run away from those scourges. I think that's what he is going to do. He's going to pull those scourges in, trying to run away with his slow arbiters. A nice freeze going to go down on all of those guardians. Another reason why spreading them is so important. And JH up to 100 workers now. So all of that pressure that JH or Kokiri has put on him has made him a little bit unaware of what his worker count is. We're going to throw down a bunch more sunken colonies here though as well. Pretty much what you have to do. A storm is going to go down trying to protect that arbiter, but the arbiter does fall. And yeah, he is making this base, but I think once these guardians unfreeze, it is going to clear out this army once again. We do see a drop coming in here with some hallucinations as well. Up to 84 workers going to drop, but they are going to get picked off just enough DPS here to pick off those High Templars, weak High Templars. That's why you need to drop those Zealots first to kind of distract all of those units as much as you can. It is a little bit risky dropping just a single High Templars. We see Scourges picking off those last Arbiters, and Kokiri is making his way in here, but JH now has a pretty good bank and everything now, finally making those creep colonies into spores. And yeah, we're seeing JH just holding on here. We'll see when he's going to feel confident to move out. Picking off these High Templars, though, every time he does that is very nice here. As High Templars are the main thing that Protoss needs to defend versus the mass of that Zerg army. I do see another dropship getting loaded up. Gonna hallucinate that once again. And going to try to get a storm drop off here. We do see overlords now from JH getting loaded up. I heard them getting loaded, but I don't see any actually units inside of those overlords. But we'll try to keep an eye on that. The nice ensnare gonna go down here, but the drop does land and is gonna get a couple of kills there. Gonna try to be sneaky with that last High Templar and is actually going to land it and get another a lot, like what, 40 or so workers there. So a nice sneaky drop there from Kokiri and going to erase any dreams of JH trying to move out once again. Gonna have to rebuild all of those drones. Dragoon versus an Overlord. We do see 2-3-2 for 3-2-3 for the Protoss, and 2-2 3-3. The ground was fully upgraded for JH. Air going to be one upgrade away from being fully upgraded. And yeah, this first game is as intense as it gets. Both players really trying to get that W. We do see those Mutas going to come in here as the Dragoons are getting picked off by those sunken colonies, leaving these poor Reavers unguarded from air, but we do see some reinforcement Dragoons and a nice little freeze going to go down on there. And another drop coming here from the top, actually going to get another 30 or so workers. Oh, that High Templar also had the ability to kill off the rest of those drones. So once again, JH going to be quite broke, and Kokiri going to be super close to being able to break him at this frontier. But JH has this nice spread of Guardians going to once again push this back. But yeah, he's at 36 workers. Going to really have to start reproducing all of those drones here. He is deciding to push out, which is a little bit strange here. He does have a little sneaky expansion up here, so that maybe that Overlord with that single drone was actually on purpose. These Guardians in a nice little position there to make these Dragoons kind of freak out, unable to reach them. Back up to 43 drones, but he is broke right now. JH is officially broke. This is where Kokiri really needs to put on the pressure. He's going to be unable to rebuild these sunken colonies at 190 supply to 140 supply, really remaking all of these drones. That's a top priority for Mr. JH. Very vulnerable to dying right here. The Reavers have to start pushing away. We do see another mass army coming in here for Kokanee. And this one could do work here. These Mutas and Guardians doing what they can to pick off these brutal Reavers. Do see a couple of Storms going to go down, just trying to pick off those annoying Guardians. A drop is in here. Those Scourges were trying to pick it off. But this attack is going to potentially do some work. We do see JH now back up to a good worker count, but another drop coming in here. He is at 65 workers. Oh, he was so close to getting that off. He turned to cast the spell, but it did not cast. A little unlucky. That could have potentially been a GG Storm right there. As yeah, JH is in some trouble here. Kokanee just having to reinforce here, is pushing in those more Dragoons. These Hydra just trying to pick off these High Templars as best he can. And this is the farthest Kokanee has made it so far. And the bank is super low for JH. So if he continues to pressure here and continue to get like just one more big drop off, he is definitely able to break JH here. Continue to push forward, but JH just always seems to have just enough in these situations. He just really doesn't have much drop defense here, so as long as Kokanee continues to attempt to drop, he should be able to maybe eventually break JH here. He's really made a lot of progress here. And yeah, JH is close to crumbling in this first game. It would be a nice confidence boost for Kokanee to win this first game. Does not want to lose as Protoss versus Zerg. You have to capitalize when you do get this matchup advantage. You can see once again hardly any gas being collected for JH. JH does have a pretty good gas bank though. Hasn't been really investing a ton of his resources into the Guardians. Just building enough so they are just adding that little extra DPS with those Sunken Colonies, making Kokanee waste a lot more Storms than he would want. You can see these Sunkens are trying to regain some ground on this choke here, but this constant mass from Kokanee is doing work. He can't forget to do a couple more drops, so he has to do the drops. We do see another drop here, ready to go. Not sure what he's waiting for. He needs to send that in. We do see it going in now. Is going to just be running in the front. Oh, and those Scourge once again are going to pick off the proper dropship there. That shuttle, very lucky I think from JH there, as if that drop landed, that could have been absolutely devastating. As he is down to his last couple of Sunkens here. And I don't know if he's going to have the army to fight this mass Protoss army. Scourges and Queens coming in here, trying to pick off any dropships. But we do see the reinforcements coming in now. A nice storm there from Kokanee. And yeah, just continuing to pressure. We do see that another drop here for Mr. Kokanee. And you can see that the two dropships at a time, it's just a 50% chance that he picks off the proper one. So if he made a couple more robos down at home, it'd just be that much more harder for JH to do it. So that this double robo, I'm just not a fan of. He needs to have 3 or 4. There's no reason at this point. He has the gas and the resources to do it. And then you're just popping out 4 or 5 shuttles at once that you can just keep sending in instead of having to sit here and wait for more dropships to produce. Obviously, easier said than done when you're doing all of this constant massing and attacking and storming and all of that. It is a little bit harder to remember, but it's just one of those small little things that I think a lot of Protosses make the mistake of doing. They build 2 initial robos and then just forget to add on a couple of more. And in these later games, it just slows down your dropping capabilities so much. I know he smells blood, and I know he is the Korean Slayer, but just one small thing that I can see that would make this better. We do see those dropships all getting picked off once again. And you can see JH is doing that on purpose. That is not the AI. If the AI was attacking by themselves, they would be focusing on those Corsairs. So JH is manually picking off these dropships each and every time. and just keeping himself alive. These creep colonies keep getting pushed back, but he's just able to buy himself just enough time each time to rebuild it. Still hardly any workers on gas right now. Just trying to once again stay alive here. 35 minutes of non-stop pressure from the Korean Slayer. We do see this nice little expo up here, which is going to be nice just to get those resources coming in non-stop. Do see another hallucination drop coming in here. It does have a lot of High Templars back at home that he's just using for hallucinations. Gonna come in here from the side and gonna try to get another attack off, but JH has rebuilt all of these sunken colonies. So all the progress from Kokani so far is going to be null and void. We do see a drop coming down there. Going to get a lot of drone kills there, 30 or so drone kills, and another drop. Going to get another 12 workers there. So that is nice, but since he did miss those last couple, it's not going to be as devastating, as JH does have a pretty decent bank and a pretty good army supply, while also rebuilding all of those sunken colonies here. Another storm going to go down. We've seen a lot of those, and they just absolutely devastate those Hydralisks. These mutas up here, I wonder if JH just forgot about them, just used to pick off that probe a while ago. These Dragoons coming in here. Another drop being produced. He kind of gave up on massing gateways here at the middle of the map, though, too. Is clicking away at 220 APM. So he is just a little busy. Doesn't want to take his foot off of the gas here. But yeah, this attack is going to get cleared out once again. The drop coming in here did get ensnared and is going to get dropped once again. Going to get 30 or so workers here. You see a bunch of lurkers going to be used to defend versus these drops. It just always is a nightmare defending versus constant High Templar drops, because just one little mistake can just devastate you. Back down to 51 drones is JH. Still unable to do any kind of offensive anything. Just been on the defense since the beginning of this game. Kokani just applying a lot of great pressure here, but just unable to make any kind of crazy amount of progress. Every time he does make some progress, seems like he's just going to missing that one GG drop that would do it, and letting JH just scrap up enough that he's able to rebuild once again. Do see just that another attack coming in here, followed up with a drop, and once again JH going to pick off that proper dropship right away. So very nicely done by JH. Very unfortunate for Mr. Kokani. And yeah, back up to that 71 worker count. Needs to start recollecting the gas here, as he is very poor on gas. But even Zerglings at this point, with the sunken colonies and this army, not the most amount of Reavers, can be doing pretty good work. These mutas still AFK down here. And once again, these Hydras just constantly applying pressure on these High Templars that Kokani just leaving there to mass against any kind of Guardians. Do see another drop coming in here from Mr. Kokani. But again, only 3 dropships, so there's a 33% chance that once again this will get picked off. Is going to drop the Dragoon and the High Templar. Oh, High Templar once again so close to landing. Oh, and then once again just enough lurkers here to pick off that sneaky High Templar that was chilling in that dropship, which could have been once again devastating. But JH not in any rush to move out, rebuilding all of his sunken colonies here. Do see a couple of Dragoons going to come over here and pick off these AFK mutas that have just been chilling for a while. And yeah, right now, if I feel like the most vulnerable spot is just coming down from the bottom here. It is a little bit farther distance than this top, which you're just always tempted to go for. But it's really unprotected on this side. No lurkers can also hit at this point, so I feel like the best spot for drops would be from the bottom. We do see that drop coming in here at 89 workers. High Templar is going to land and get 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, almost 40 drones there, while he continues to barrel in the front with mass Dragoons. These drops continuing to land, keeping JH broker than a joker. And you can see he actually manually clicks all of these hatcheries to build drones. You can see them popping out one at a time. He does not click the workers. So if you press control and then click one larva, you can click all of the active larvae there, and then you're building 12 instead of having to click SD, 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 SD on each of these workers. But those careers like to keep up their APM as high as possible. And did I do something to make it lag a little bit? Because I am getting a little bit of lag for some reason right now. I don't know what I did. Did I do that? Let's just pause it for a second. Why is it lagging like that for? It is lagging a little bit, right? Or did I? Oh, I think I did. I accidentally lowered the speed of the game there, so it was not lag. Just me messing around with those controls. We are back at the regular speed here, and yeah, we're throwing down that mass amount of creep colonies here. And yeah, as time goes on, it's just looking harder and harder here for Koukeni to break Mr. JH. JH just slowly getting bigger and stronger. The mass sunken colony devastation here. JH has been broke for basically the whole game though, so these drops are doing work. We're going to see a nice ensnare there on all of those workers. Do see some Templars drop, and they once again is going to land and get 20 or so workers, which is just once again going to prevent JH from going on any kind of counter attack. Eventually he's going to have just enough workers here though that he's not even going to be mining back at home. Just going to be using this as a gas expo, and still at the 42-minute mark he still has not built all of his extractors. That just goes to show you how much pressure Koukeni has been applying here from the start. These Corsairs are going to go around picking off some of these overlords that JH has now decided to spread across the map to get as much map control as possible. A lot easier to defend versus drops if you know when and where they're coming from. But yeah, it's an excellent start to this tournament here, or this tournament final. This is the finals. The winner is going to win over $100, like $150 to the winner and $50 to second place, something like that. Even though I'm in charge of it, I keep effing forgetting the exact payouts. Also, thank you to Savior and Pro001 for donating to this tournament. Couldn't have done it without you guys, so thank you once again. Drop coming in here, gonna get snared and going to land, get a couple of workers there. These drops continuing to get work done and just continuing to apply pressure here at the front. But at this point, when the Zerg is this big, it's just tough. It is tough as a Protoss to finish off the Zerg here. You can see these overlords continuing to spread around the map, trying to get as much map control as possible. These Corsairs are working to prevent that. But yeah, JH not giving up any room here at the choke. see another hallucinated drop coming in here. But I feel like JH is getting close to the point where he can start moving out. This expo is doing wonders for him, for his economy, and it looks like it is now finally going to be scouted. So Kokanee going to be a little annoyed that he allowed this to live for so long, and is going to go send up some Dragoons to pick that off. Drop coming in here from the bottom. JH up to 100 workers right now. Gonna get ensnared and gonna try to spread that. Is able to drop a single High Templar, but way too out of range of those workers. These drones gonna get picked off. These Dragoons gonna really pimp out their kill counts here. And yeah, it's just looking grim here for Kokanee. As time goes on, the Zerg only gets stronger. Picking this off though is a big move, but JHS has remasked all of those sunken colonies here, and not looking good. Take a look at the map control for JH. JH not having much map control at all. You do see these couple of overlords on the map. Really, his only vision compared to Kokanee, who has fairly good vision. Still, a couple of these bases are a little bit dark, but for the most part, he can see exactly what's going on. Going to come in here once again. Gonna get ensnared. Is able to drop the High Templar, then actually once again is going to get like 40 or 50 drones there. So going to keep JH broke once again is Mr. Kokanee, keeping his life alive here in this game. Going to just send in more Dragoons with these Reavers and High Templars. The ideal unit combination to defeat a Zerg. I think maybe a couple more Corsairs might be helpful here as well to pick off these Guardians, but Storms also work very well. You just see that very nice spread once again from JH continuing to spread nicely. One lurker gonna get picked off immediately. JH once again broke, hardly collecting any gas. Just having to focus on defending this frontal pressure. I do see another drop here being loaded up from Mr. Kokanee. And a lot of deja vu. These Hydras coming up here to pick off these High Templars that are just chilling. Oh, we are starting to hear some Overlords being filled up. I don't see where they are though. Instant ensnare gonna go down. Is gonna get in range, but was unable to cast it. The casting animation did happen, but not able to actually pull it off. But yeah, JH has that worker count, has a pretty decent bank here. Maybe going to look to push out. No, I'm going to back off once again. We do see his supply though, and his bank. Everything is slowly. He's almost at that point where he should be able to move out. But he's just so afraid of those drops, the deadly Kokanee High Templar drops. Getting another round of mutas. Up to 91 drones. Yeah, we're almost at an hour. Almost at an hour for this first game here. Looking to be an intense finals, but I think Kokanee is going to be a little on tilt if he isn't able to defeat JH Protoss versus Zerg. Arguably the most difficult matchup for Zerg players. I think statistically, mathematically, it is the hardest. Protoss has the highest win rate in this matchup. Especially Kokanee, who has a very high win percentage, Protoss versus Zerg. But JH wants that money. And yeah, playing super solid. Keeping himself alive. And we'll see if he's going to decide to push out now. We're still just waiting for JH to make an offensive move here. Obviously, no easy task versus this many High Templars and everything. But I think if he's able to get up to that Mass Guardian Hydra, he should be able to move out at some point here. Maybe we're going to wait to just defend one more attack. But just massing more and more drones here does finally have most of these extractors up and going. Haven't seen a drop in a little while here. Which, yeah, is going to let JH's bank get a little bit out of control here. JH relentless with rebuilding these sunken colonies. Every time like 10 or so get down, they just instantly rebuild. And yeah, when is JH going to move out? Or is he ever going to move out? That is the question. Obviously, I don't blame him. He hasn't really had too many opportunities to counterattack. 100 Dragoons here with 100 High Templars and the occasional Reaver. It's just really hard to kill. But yeah, as soon as Bank is going to be out of control, he's going to be able to mass Guardian Devours or Guardian Hydra. And I think that will be when he decides to move out. He does have his Defiler Den out, also getting some Consume. That'll be very good versus the amount of Dragoons that Kokanee is building. Dark Swarm with Zerglings and Lurkers, also very good. We've seen Scan and Co utilize such a build before. Ensnare going down on these units, making them just a lot much slower and dumber. Don't see any drops, so on the way for Mr. Kokanee. And we're 6 minutes away from the first game being 1 hour long here. JH turtling up like a monster, showing you how you turtle Zerg versus Protoss. And yeah, that. Yeah, not much to say right now. Just enjoying this battle that we have been witnessing for a while. I wouldn't mind if he was just dropped and cleared some space out here to get over and get his drop on. As there's hardly any defense here for Kokanee if he was to get his drop down there. His bank is getting a little out of control, though. He's soon going to be able to mass anything he wants. Even be able to take a storm drop at one point and just remax units. Kokanee getting a little poor though himself down. Maybe killed off a little bit too many workers. Down to 1,200 supply. Or 1,200 resources. Under 1,000 resources now. And that is going to affect his massing here. As you want to have like 10 Dragoons constantly queued up. Remaking some of those Arbiters. But yeah, he's actually broke right now. He killed off I think too many probes. It isn't going to be able to reinforce as much as he would want to. Do see that mass guardian though being made now, and that is going to probably be when he decides to push out. This is going to be the most guardians we've seen from him yet. Going to have 24 or so guardians, and as long as they don't get too scrunched up, we do see those nice storm on that first group of guardians. Going to be one storm away from dying. But yeah, JH's bank is officially solid. Bank is actually better than Kokanee's, which you don't often see in a 1 hour game here. Kokanee gonna say sec and then leaves the game. I don't know if he did that on purpose or if that was by accident. A little interesting. But GG, I guess, is going to be called. Not sure. It was weird. It was weird that he said sec and then left. But I think JH was just about to break out regardless. Did finally have a nice concave of Guardians. He has his bank up and going. But yeah, GG is going to be called, I guess. Interesting to say sec and then leave. But JH is going to win game number 1. We'll see you in game number 2. Game number 2, Kokanee. Oh, look at that. We actually have, they've actually traded races and positions. So JH going to be in the bottom middle, Protoss, versus Kokanee in the top left. So we will see if this is going to be another 1 hour game here. Or if someone is going to just play a little bit differently. We shall see. JH going to go for that. He usually goes for the 2-gate Nexus. That is typically what he goes for. Kokanee, I imagine, is going to go into the Turtle Zerg here until he can get himself up and going. But yeah, it just... Oh, actually, look at this. We're seeing a pool first here from Kokanee. So Kokanee going to try to catch a mid-build maybe off guard. This can counter a mid-build very nicely, going for the 9 pool. Or 8 pool. No, yeah, he went for the 9 pool. Going to get that drone and Overlord. This can also... Okay, now he's going for a gas as well. I don't know if that's going to be the extractor trick to get an extra drone. Or if he's going to go for something crazy here. We are seeing something crazy here already from Kokanee. Regardless, going for that pool first. Right into an extractor. Going to try to catch JH off guard. Does not want to play another hour game. It looks like not even going to choke either. Going to build this hatchery back at home. And yeah, we'll see if JH can defend. JH, pretty good micro though. Not going for that Nexus first as well, which would also be pretty good. But he's also going to be fairly far away. So I think it's going to be a Zergling speed build. This has to be what it is. He's going for a quick, super quick Zergling speed here. We'll see if he stops collecting gas after 100 minerals. Or what. The plan is, yeah, we do see him gonna stop collecting, gonna go for that Zergling speed right away. So it looks like he's gonna go for just a very quick mass Zergling, and this could catch Mr. JH off guard. JH is going for that 2-gate Nexus. It is one of the most safest Nexus builds out there if you're gonna go for that quick Nexus. 2 Zerglings are gonna go out to start scouting. JH isn't going... not going to see that Overlord. I think the Overlord did see the probe, though. But now they are, once again, going to... okay, no, this Zealot definitely saw this Zergling here. And, yeah, going to just try to go for a mass Zergling build here. Do see a Forge going down here for Mr. JH. Also throwing up his choke here, despite knowing that it is a Zerg. Maybe he did that pylon before he scouted. But, yeah, these first couple of Zealots possibly going to be out of position. And maybe this does get something done. I have a hard time seeing JH losing to something like this. But he's still going for that double gas and that cybernetics core. The Zergling is going to see what he's up against, but these Zealots have already discovered where he is as well. And I don't know if these Zerglings are going to be able to go on the offense or not. They are going to try to counterattack. These Zealots are super duper slow. They aren't going to counter themselves. They are going to go back home and defend. Going to build 2 cannons back at home as well. Did cancel a gas. Knowing that he does need to get up some kind of defense. And we see pylons going down, making sure this pylon doesn't get picked off. But Kokanee going for some kind of attacks back here. There is Zealots back at home now. There's going to be some cannons going up. And yeah, this is going to be shut down almost immediately, I imagine. A couple of the Zealots going to be back in here. They can just target down the drones. There is only 6 drones on that, so that is going to be devastating every drone that he does lose. The Sunken not going to be quite enough DPS, and yeah, this is going to be GG, I would imagine. Down to 3 drones is Mr. Kokanee. Not going to be able to continue this Zergling production. 3 cannons back at home with 2 gateways constantly building Zealots. I think he's going to be more than enough safe here. Zealots and cannons pretty good versus Zerglings, but Kokanee not going to give up nonetheless. He's going to go all in with this attack on his 3 drone economy. This is as all in as you can possibly be. Does have a lot of Zerglings out on the map, so if JH did not prepare quite as much, he could possibly be in some trouble, but I just don't see. He's not going to be able to reinforce this on that 3 drone economy. Try to fight versus these Zealot and cannons, and yeah, this is not looking good. Does able to pick off 1, and then he's just going to quickly exit the game, and he is going to be down 0-2, unfortunately, for Mr. Kokanee. We'll jump into game number 3 and see if he can bounce back, but looking rough here for Kokanee, down 0-2 to JH, but we'll see. Game number 3 coming up next. Alright, game number 3, Kokanee getting Protoss once again, which is pretty good, and he's going to be up against a Zerg. Protoss versus Zerg. So yeah, this is the matchup. Kokanee does need to get himself back into this series. He's going to be up against a mid-Zerg in a very terrible position. Not in the best position himself, but still in this matchup it shouldn't matter too much. We will see how she goes here. Nothing yet to speak about. It's looking good for Kokanee here. Oh, look at this. Once again, we are going to see a pool first here. So these players getting cheeky out here, going for the pool first here. Maybe not wanting to have another 1-hour game here. And yeah, we're going to see a very early pool, that 9 pool, once again, which is a hard counter to the mid build. But once again, okay, Kokanee is going for something a little cheeky here. He is going for a gateway right into a gas. And this is the kind of build that this can go really well against. A Nexus first. Okay, he's getting a Forge here as well, which I guess could be good, but JH going for that exact same Zergling speed build here, and we'll see if he's going to be able to do Kokode's build last game against him. Kokode going for this really cheeky. We've seen him do this before, where he gets this very early gas and gets that super quick robo. But this is going to be very susceptible to this kind of Ling attack that is coming from JH. JH really throwing off what most Zergs like to do, but I guess that's also what Kokode decided to do. And this Overlord's actually going to be able to scout this right away. These cannons are going to go up at the front, but these first Zerglings are coming out. And Kokode just really a bad time to choose this build. And this Overlord is going to scout this. All of these Zerglings are not going to have to scout. They are going to go right across the map. And GG is going to be called. Did he even see the Zerglings? That is super weird. Kokode is going to GG out, picking the wrong build. I don't know how he saw those Zerglings. I don't know why he's GGing out. Very weird stuff. Not even going to try to defend versus it. And yeah, once again, a very interesting game. We'll jump into that final game right now. Or not final game, we'll jump into the next game right now. And see if Kokode can turn it around. I wonder if Kokode just gave up because he saw the Overlord was going to scout him. I wonder if that was the reasoning behind it. But nonetheless, he is going to get once again another chance. He is Protoss once again versus Zerg, and this should be another good opportunity for Kokode to get a win. He is in the corner position versus a Zerg, though, who is in a corner. So we'll see what's going to happen. That last game was super effing weird. That Kokode would just give up that early. But I guess we've seen Zerg go for 9 pools now. We'll see if JH is going to do that once again. No, okay, this time he's not. He's going to go for back to a normal game. I think he went for that 9 pools because he was in a middle position. Not exactly sure, but yeah, we are going to see this hatchery first here. Not going to see any kind of crazy Nexus or any kind of crazy pooling first builds. And Kokode, yeah, this time it wouldn't be the worst if he went for that gas build, and he is going to go for it. He's gonna try this once again. Not his most powerful build, but it can catch players off guard, especially in this matchup. Yeah, this is this is like the quickest possible robo build here that you can possibly get. The robo comes out so fast, and it's a little bit of a cheeky build. We saw him do that versus Boo in the last series, and that turned out to be an hour game. So if it doesn't kill you, it is obviously defendable. But it also can be super potent, especially versus the Korean Zergs, who tend not to build a ton of static defense. So we are going to see how this unfolds. See if Kokode can do this. He is on match point. He has to win the next 4 games in order to advance. This is a best of 7? Is it a best of 7? Yeah, best of 7, I believe. And yeah, we're going to see how he does, getting that 2 cannons up at his front. Does have a single Zealot out here. And gonna have that very quick robo down, almost at that 3-minute mark here. To see a gas and a Sunken Colony down here for Mr. And he's actually going for a Citadel of a Dune. So maybe he's going for a DT rush, hoping that he is up against a Terran. He's going to see that Overlord. And he'd cancel that and get a robo down, and he's just going to leave. So I don't know. I don't know what just happened there. Kokode just giving up almost 3 games in a row there. Almost 4 games in a row. He almost gave up every single game there. And in one of the most anticlimactic series I've ever seen. At least he showed up, I guess. Right, he did show up. He didn't show up versus Scan last time. He is going to show up versus JH, but going to be an absolutely very poor performance here. I don't even know if I can call him the Korean Slayer anymore, because he just gotten... Yeah, he just basically gave up. And JH is going to win, though. So congratulations to JH, who is going to win the first annual Tony G Christmas tournament. Congratulations, JH, defeating Kokanee AV in devastating fashion, winning 3 Zerg versus Protosses in a row. And yeah, just Kokanee, not the best performance I've ever seen from him. Very disappointed by his lack of effort, I would say, in all of the games. But yeah, I guess after that first hour game, he's like, oh, if I can't beat him in the Zerg versus Protoss, then I can't beat him at all. And I went for some cheeky builds that all didn't even have a chance to unfold. JH just crushing him. Clearly the better player. And yeah, congratulations to JH defeating Gold SCV, Hydra. He didn't have the easy... No, not Hydra. He didn't have an easy path. We'll throw up the brackets now. Congratulations to JH winning himself a nice little prize. Also, I guess, congratulations to Kokanee, who gets that second place prize despite that very lackluster performance from him. Yeah, super disappointed in Kokanee, but whatever. GG, well played by JH, and thank you everyone for watching the Tony G Christmas tournament. We had some great series, some intense first round matchups, a best of 3s. Maybe we'll just do a best of 3 tournament next time. A little bit more wild than the other longer series, but whatever. Thank you guys all for watching. Thank you to Savior and Pro001 for donating. The finals just always seem to get to people's minds, though. We've seen this like the 4th tournament in a row where the finals just have not lived up to the hype. But hey, whatever. GG, guys. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time.